Link below the video in the description. Cosmos, link below the video in the description box to his online shop, has posted the extended world map. As you know, the moon you see on the sky every day, the moon that has the same face, never changes, is the map of the real world. And this is awesome. This is the world, the part in dark blue and green. This is the known world. As you can see here, this is Africa and Europe and Asia and North America and South America. North America is very small comparison, and this is Hyperborea. And of course, you have Atlantis and Lemuria, which is part of the known world, but you're not allowed to go there because there's no flights and no ships. This is the closest thing you have. And then the part you see in light blue and white are the hidden continents, or not the hidden, the forbidden continents. So Pangaea or Pangea. This is probably where the Germans are as well. Either on this side or on the side of South America in what we call here Galeka and Lakac at the south of Lemuria. And then you have this whole big, huge, amazing continent of Pangaea. And then there's a continent here in the south. And check this out. Lord of the Rings, Mordor, and the towers. For those of you who, and I also knew this, that Lord of the Rings and the books and everything that was written was inspired in the reality of the real world. And of course, in the known world, when I say the known world, I mean what we see on the moon map, because the moon is showing us this whole world. Of course, there's like more continents, but yeah, Mordor is here in at the edge of what we see on the moon map. Mordor and the tower, quite far away, Harondor and everything else. And then of course there's more ocean. There's some islands here, and then there's a bunch of islands here as well. And islands here, and of course the oceans keep on going, and I'm sure there's like more continents because the moon is a reflection of the black sun via electromagnetic waves, and it has like a certain wavelength, and it's just a limited amount. So basically what happens is the same thing that NASA does, but NASA does it on the globe, spinning in space with Curvature, no fantasy. So Vibes of Cosmos has taken the moon that we see, which is a reflection, as you know if you read the books, and has extended it on a 2D plane, right? And the black color, or the dark gray black, is firm land, continents, so solid land where you can live, and the white stuff is water and the oceans. And you see here there's a bunch of islands here, and if you see it here, so there's like two legends here. The legend for dark blue, which is in the known world. In the known world, the Hyperborea and Atlantis and Lemuria are off limits. And then the legend here with the land which is white, which is all this land here. So that's awesome. It's just, everybody knows this. Even in the 60s, there were people who, even though they didn't study enough to understand that the world is not a spinning ball with Curvature, but they did say in the 60s that the moon is the mirage, or the reflective inverted mirror of the continents and the water of the world. So Hyperborea, it's here. Europe, Asia, Australia, Africa is huge. This is the UK here, Spain, and then Atlantis is at west of the Africa. Lemuria is here. North America is here, so you can see Hyperborea and Greenland. Look at the size of Greenland. Greenland is so tall, so small in comparison with Africa. North America, South America, and then these could be, the thing is here, these are the lands which the temperature is still good. So there's two possibilities. The Germans that went from the Second World War and the Operation Hind Jump, either was like here in these lands, so from North America, from the United States, you go in a straight line, and that's a possibility. So that's why they say South America, and then from South America the German mustache man and his elite went here. Or there's also like a place here, because there's a German guy who has made a map, and he placed the UFOs and the Germans on this side. So from Africa, on this side, it was just called Fildania, and then this is like Neuschwabenland and everything else. Me personally, well, considering the historical events and facts in the German books after the Second World War, I would say, now after seeing Vibes of Cosmos, that the German guy is around here. Or that 250,000 Germans. There's even like something like a submarine here. South Pacific Antarctic ice wall. You see? South Pacific Antarctic ice wall. This is awesome. So if the Germans are around here, it makes sense, because all the bases of Antarctica is in Lemuria, and the Germans will be just south of Lemuria, which is still, if you see the green stuff, This is still continents that have good temperature and weather, and that's also like goes well in the sense of what Admiral Byrd said and his boss James Forrestal, that there's so much land here, and of course there's more land to go. This says here there's like an ice wall, so this would be an ice wall, and then there's a bunch of other ice wall as well. Southwest frozen Atlantic, you see, there's frozen stuff. So if you see the other Wives of Cosmos maps, if everything here is frozen, and up until the area of Mordor, which would have like a new sun, then there's a bunch of frozen ice in between the lands of the Lord of the Rings as they're portrayed and the known world. And you see how it is very possible to live in the known world on hidden continents, because Lemuria and Atlantis are still good temperatures to live. They're green, not like Hyperborea, and there's still lands here at the edges here, and these islands here, and then these lands here, which might be where the Germans are as well, because they're close to South America. So all these lands here, and it's so simple because when you go to an airport or a harbor and you want to go somewhere, there's like certain flight paths and ship paths. So you can't just take a ship or a plane and go wherever you want, and that's something that people don't understand because simply they don't study and they're lazy, and probably they're also afraid because when you see the world like this, I guess people are more afraid of this than the spinning balls in space. I know, and maybe that's just the use. This is astonishing. The real question is how many more lands, because you see all this blue stuff here is ocean and water, and the moon just shows a limited amount of land and oceans. How many more oceans and more lands are beyond the limitations that we see on the moon? So this is the universe, right? That's what NASA said, because NASA gives us certain bits of truth combined with 80% of lots of fantasy. But they said the universe is a universe of oceans of water, of course, because you go in a straight line, you have lots of water, and then you have lots of lands and other continents and more water. But this would be the unfrozen bit, thanks to I think we're now in the Pisces age. And every 2,000 years, the magnetic shift happens, and bits and pieces of the limitations of the borders, they get frozen. And that's the thing with the resets. Don't think about a major reset like something that everything gets frozen, because first of all, the bits that get frozen are the bits from the outside. So if you live, for example, in the middle of Europe or Asia or like America, it's going to be a long time until you're going to get a full frozen or a full like super scale reset, right? Yeah, this is Vibes of Cosmos. So we're going to go into more detail about this. Again, the known world with Atlantis and Lemuria, where the Germans might be from the Second World War. If you read the books in German, that's so amazing. There's so many historical facts, and also the censored documentaries. Well, censored on the typical websites because the internet is full of them. And then Pangaea. Look at how much frozen continent, and then the land of the Lord of the Rings. Who knows? Maybe there's even like legendary creatures here, that the ones you see in Lord of the Rings. There's even like a dragon flying here. See, dragon. So it could be, and yeah, and there's like submarines. I like the whole thing with submarines, because the submarines, the world is still monitored by German submarines after the Second World War. And then this is the part that might be the one that we know from Operation High Jump after the Second World War. Vibes of Cosmos is amazing. Again, lots of thanks. If it wasn't for Vibes of Cosmos, my head would be indoctrinated. I would still be lost, and I would still be indoctrinated by the classical flat earthers that don't want to escape the Gleason map. And of course, I would still be indoctrinated by many other facts that other YouTubers and content creators are pushing out without any care for the reality of the real world. Continents, ocean, everything. We're gonna see more of this. So thanks again, Vibes of Cosmos. Link down below, and see you guys in the next video.